Christmas to you all, and thank you everybody for being here today, tearing themselves away from this world first race for just an hour of just sanctity, freedom, peace, happiness, you know, before we get fully invested again into what is shaping up to be the race so far of all races in Race to World First. God damn! God damn, my sleepless nights of taking care of this baldy head of mine have been filled entirely with so much good stuff. And I'm more than excited to see what's going to happen tonight. It's going to be good. Oh, cringy characters. We have ERP on the menu. We've got some wholesome stuff. We've got some live coaching. We've got everything you need to get yourself nice and set for the weekend. Make yourself a happy, happy, happy boys. So it should be good. I'm excited. I'm excited to get back and talk about something else because I've taught nothing but Race to World First for the last few days, even though I'm not involved in the Race to World First this time. But goddamn, am I a fan. I am a fan no matter what they say, no matter how good Final Fantasy XIV is. I don't care. I enjoy the race. I'm not interested in what you think of WoW right now. I'm interested in these two Goliaths going head to head like Hulk and Thor in the arena. That's what I'm interested in, and that's what I want to talk about. So that is what I'm going to do, because I enjoy the shit out of it. In all good news, Ben is really strong now. You'll probably hear him bark at some point. He's definitely back to his similar energy levels. He's getting there every step of the way. And I'm doing all right, too. All the scabs have gone, which is surprising, actually. See, we've got hair growing in. How weird is that? Look, it's all over the place. Wow! So over the next few months, well, year, it's going to take a full goddamn year before we've seen the full effects of this thing, that hopefully will be good. So all around, 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up to get along with that. We're also having some variety game next week. Been streaming a lot of World of Warcraft because I'm enjoying World of Warcraft immensely in 9.1 with some old friends returning, but back to variety streaming next week. We're going to be doing some BioShock, because we want to do a big talk on BioShock, so we're going to be diving deep into BioShock and learning what we can and having some fun, and whether or not I actually like Infinite the second time around, because I did not enjoy it the first time around. Some debates, which is the best BioShock? Which is the best, and why is it 2? I'm just going to put that out there. Why is it 2? Let's start off with something nice and fun. Let's have some ERP, shall we? Let's have some ERP. And it's going to be Dinch. It's going to be Dinch who's walking into the lion's den today. It's going to be our boy Dinch who's walking into it. 2 without question. Of course. Of course. Of course. It's not infinite. I'll tell you that for now. It's not infinite. Fucking kiss my ass. Fucking infinite. Songbird. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean? Is it a dermatologist you talked to for hair treatments? No, it was the hair transplant clinic with 3 excellent doctors who specialize in it. So, no, it wasn't. Hair transplant specific stuff. Okay. Now, I think this is what Bex has left us with a note here. This is like beginner ERP, so I don't know what we're walking into here. But let's have some fun nonetheless, shall we? Let's have a nice Friday. Put your feet up, take your socks off, put your cocks in. Let's go. Preacher! The furry ERP story from the last drama time brought up some memories I thought I had better share. Sure. Sure. Please don't go furry on me again. I can't take that twice in a row. I can't. I grew up in a little town in Mississippi called Hattiesburg. Hattiesburg. Let's get an image. I have a predetermined image of what Hattiesburg, Mississippi looks like. I want confirmation. Hattiesburg, Mississippi. All right. Yep, it is exactly what I thought it looked like. It is indeed exactly what we thought it looked like. We have a town with a population of about 12. We have America flags everywhere. We have what looks to be like the most idyllic little town in all of America. And then apparently a tornado hit it, which may be grim. And if that is true, I apologize. If it's like in ruin right now, but we'll see. But it has the old school American vibe cinema. It looks like a wholesome place to live. Let's put it that way. It looks like a wholesome place to live. My upbringing, very sheltered. That changed in a big, big hurry when I was 19 and found myself exposed to the rest of the world via World of Warcraft. This would have been in 2005. I made myself a male gnome warrior, which I picked because he kind of looked like me. I leveled up with a college guild run by a youth pastor from the Presbyterian Church. America. America. I don't think that would... Does that exist? Something like that in the EU? I don't know about that. A college guild run by a youth pastor from the Presbyterian Church. The guild was named after the college anyway. Actually, it was mostly local elementary school kids, and they were terrible at the video game. We never did any dungeons or anything like that. That was for the big boys. Aww. Mainly, we just met in the side rooms of Stormwind Cathedral and just talked about our school day. That's kind of cute. Kind of cute. Why are we getting into ERP here? The idea was that we older guys were supposed to be a good influence and guide the younger ones. Let's not do that. Right? Let's not do that. Let's not start some sort of youth cult within the game. Let's not do that. Alright, we could do better. The guild disappeared when the school board, okay, got wind that the game was full of perverts and stopped all the kids playing. True. Kind of true. I had 3 younger brothers in that guild and they all quit to play football instead. But I was an adult, so I was allowed to keep playing and I got my character to level 60. Yeah, kind of fair, actually. I joined a few guilds but left them pretty fast. I just didn't fit in. The players talked a lot about things we in Hattiesburg called, you ready, Isaac? Californian nonsense. Stuff like doing drugs, gangster rapping, and scientists trying to grow meat on trees. Californian shit, you know what I mean? That's some California shit. Drugs, gangster rap, and growing tofu on trees. Proper gangster rap. Coolio's all about it. I did my best to be friendly, but it was hard. Just didn't fit in. Everything I said seemed to start a fight, and sometimes I got kicked out, and I didn't know why. I remember one guild I sat through a whole bunch of guys saying rude stuff about President Bush. And I joined in with the laughing about it to try and be friendly. And then I alt-tabbed to my desktop picture of Jesus Christ handing the United States Constitution to President Bush, and I felt real bad. That was your literal desktop wallpaper? That's what you had? Well, there it is. There it is. Mississippi, y'all. Mississippi. Did you really believe that the President of the United States was chosen by God? I don't know about that, man. Each their own. So I spent a lot of time playing alone until I saw an ad in Trade Chat that said, looking for tasty gnomes. Well, nobody liked gnomes, so that got my attention. I replied and talked to a lady called Dinch. I don't remember what she said exactly, but I remember she was a very nice person. Dinch invited me to the guild. Turned out she was a druid and everybody else was a gnome of some sort. Gnomes could be anything but druids or paladins, I think. All the other gnomes were really nice too. So it's a guild of entire gnomes with a druid leader. Yeah, my spidey sense is tingling. I remember we did Stratholme that night and they gave me all the gear I wanted for being the new guy. Let's keep going. I also remember noticing that Dinch licked us all the times. And the other gnomes seemed to like it. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. There it is. There it is. I don't like it. After the run... Alright, I'm going to leave this to you guys to guess. Dinch invited all of us special gnomes to a secret cave. Can you guess what zone our Lady Dinch's special cave is in? You should be able to guess this immediately. Goldshire? No, you wish it was in Goldshire. You wish it was in Goldshire. Oh, you disappoint me. You disappoint me, stream. You disappoint me so much. After the run, Dinch invited all of us special gnomes to a secret cave in the wetlands. You should have guessed that. I'm honestly shocked that you didn't go straight to wetlands. I'm honestly so sad. I'm so sad that you didn't know her special cave was the wetlands. I'm honestly so disappointed in you all. That's when it started to get weird. Yeah, I bet it did. Okay. Alright, let's get weird. Dingy went into bear form and sat down while all the gnomes around me stripped. Then the gnomes all jumped up and down saying, me first, me first. Dinge picked one and he jumped forward. She licked him a few times and he giggled. Then Dinge used /me command to swallow the gnome. The gnome then sat down inside Dinge's bare belly. Then she picked another one until all the gnomes were inside her. She did a lot of burp emotes. Who's whacking it to this? Somebody is. Somebody's spanking it to this. They are. They are. I'm telling you. Someone's beating it off. I'm not. I'm good. I'm good. I'll pass on this one. I'll pass. Honestly, I had no idea what the fuck was going on, but it seemed harmless. I figured this was a fun guild ritual. Then she asked if I was shy and patted me. I said no. She told me one strip down, and I did. Then I did what the others had done and let her swallow me up, I guess. Afterwards, the gnomes all sort of danced around inside Dinge while she groaned and told them to stop struggling. And then when they did, no, you can struggle a bit. Then they all logged off for the night, and everyone says they were finished. Well, that's... And I'm done. See y'all tomorrow. I Hearthstoned and kept playing WoW for a bit. Thinking about what the hell just happened. The cave business seemed like a weird little game, an in-joke that I hadn't been privy to. But I liked the guild. The guys were cool. I wanted to do more dungeons. It was awesome. I got a lot of loot, so, of course, I decided to stick around. I remember Dinge was happy to see me back the next day. She mentioned sometimes people don't return. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Ooh, you're back. Really? I know she talks about eating gnomes all the time. And they seem to love it. Every night, we would do the same thing. About 9 o'clock, they would all meet in the cave for what was called the dinner ritual. I just played along, because I got to do dungeons and stuff for the first time in WoW. Not a big deal to me. Eventually, though, this guy was 19. I mean, he's innocent, right? He's got a picture of Jesus and the president on his desktop. He is sheltered. To be fair, he's very sheltered. I don't think many of us are like, we're shocked, but we're not surprised. There's a difference. Like, I'm pretty shocked. I'm not surprised. Eventually, my older brother came back to visit from college in Florida. Well, there he's been exposed to everything, right? He's been to Florida. I was busting to show him World of Warcraft. He watched me do a dungeon and was right into the game, saying he wanted to get it too so we could play together. After the dungeon, I said, hold on, it's dinner time. My brother said, it's not dinner time. I said, no, it's in-game dinner time. It's just one little thing we have to do as a guild that we do every night. And so off I went to the cave. After it was all over, I turned around, and I will never forget the look on my brother's face. It was a mix of shock, anger, but mostly he looked like he wanted to laugh at me. A lot. He explained that he understood what was going on. After all, he's been to college in Florida. He said this is a weird sex guild, bro. All the other guys there, and maybe even Dinch herself, were spanking it through this dinner thing. I said no. Why would anybody jerk off to this? True. That's true. No, that can't be right. Ain't nobody jerking off to this. That doesn't even make any sense. Then he told me they all thought I was jacking off with them. Oh, true. Yeah, they do think that. Yeah, they absolutely... I assumed that. Like, naively, I didn't think that they also thought you were spanking it. Very quickly, it dawned on me that he was right, and I nearly vomited. I G-quit straight away. Smart. This was a very long time ago. I'm more exposed to the world now, and I know much better. My brother was true to his word, though. He bought the game, and we did play together for a very long time. I was mad about Dinch and her gnomes for years. Oh, don't be. But these days, I don't judge. They weren't hurting anybody. Live and let live, I say. Thank you, preacher. You know what? It's fine. It's fine. I also noticed in the chat that some people seem to know who this is. Is this a regular thing with the licking and the eating of the gnomes? And the beating it to the cave in the wetlands? I did notice that some people were like, yep, we know who this is. I did notice that. His dreams are crushed. Yeah, I suppose so. Yes? Okay. All right. Good. So there is some history to that tale. Yikes. Absolute yikes. All right. What's this one? The Russian life coach. Perfect. Perfect. Let me find it. Let me find it. Let me find it. I want a Russian life coach in my life. That sounds genius. Oh, I just saw a story called Freedom Doesn't Exist. That sounds kind of dark. Maybe let us not go down that road today. Okay. From Russia with love. Yes, friends. Sick your blood. I'm Russian myself, and I don't want that. Well, you know what? We're along for the ride together. At least remember that. At least remember that. Right, we need the typical Russian name of Angus and Lathina. Lathina. Lovely name. Lathina. Okay. Oh, we need the court. Gavels up. Gavels up. Hello to Mr. Preacher and the rest of your unbiased court. We're all set. We're all ready. Now, being the main antagonist of my own tale, I can say straight away that I am indeed guilty, without a doubt. Easy game. Easy game. However, it would be so much fun to get your perspective on whether or not I am actually the worst person in all of this. Okay, so we've got a bit of a different tale to tell here. Our author is indeed guilty. He admits to it. However, is he the worst member? That is what the court shall decide. With that said, here's my story about two leeches and somebody who I can only describe as a cook. Excellent. That's what we need. Let me take you back a long, long time ago. It involves myself and two others. A gullible young guildmaster called Angus and his e-girlfriend, Lathina. All the shenanigans were happening on a private Burning Crusade server, about the time retail Wrath of the Lich King was coming to an end. I must mention that I've never seen a server so riddled with weird features and server-crushing bugs. To give you an example, a warlock could cast Enslave Demon on Archimond or any other demon boss, and that would actually work, with occasional server crashes as a result of such indecency. Add to that the complete lack of any boss mechanics, hundreds of broken quests and misfunctioning talents, and you have a pretty good picture of our cobbled-together private server world. Why is this important? Well, you should ask yourself, what kind of people would play a game like that, that's entirely broken? Who would actually stay there after realizing how much of a shithole they had ended up on? That's right, that would be very, very young people who didn't know any better and who couldn't afford retail World of Warcraft. And my guild was the cream of them, myself included. I was about 15 years old at the time. By God, I felt like I was the oldest person among my comrades. My guildmaster Angus was a mild-mannered kid who played a Tauren warrior, and I can't help but to love his choice in this case. He never confessed his age, but he didn't have to. We knew he was young. And no one cared. It's never been an issue. Never. Until he got himself a blood elf priest as an e-girlfriend called Lathina. Now you can imagine this weird obsessive excitement that a girl can bring to a guild full of underage testosterone-riddled boys who have just hit puberty. She got very popular, very fast. Always a spot in her for the raid. Always some reserves for her. If Angus wasn't online to help her out with the next thing, there was a line of admirers who would argue within themselves over who is going to help her this gaming session. At first, I took pride in excluding myself from this mess. I mean, I was 15. I'm very mature. I'm grown up. I have seen girls before. Basically, I am the real adult of this guild. So I should behave, set an example. Even though I confess, I really wanted to creep on her just like everyone else. But you learnt restraint, right? That comes with maturity. You learnt restraint. You really did want to creep on her, but you held back. And oh boy, did she give me the chance. Looking back at it, I think she was kind of bummed out there was someone who wasn't paying her tribute in attention and gold. And that's why she took interest in me. Why wasn't I chasing her like everyone else in the guild? This is how I let my guard down and joined the simp train. However, I quickly realized that she was the most responsive when I didn't show I was going to help her. So yeah, I basically began to cook her out of any help to get the flirtiest version of a please will you help me. But no, she isn't the cook of this story. Let's go back to our guild master Angus. Now that's who wasn't happy about it. But being who he was, he couldn't really confront me. Again, he was a young child. Me, a 15-year-old man. How dare he? Instead, he became really defensive and passively aggressive, which I found kind of funny because he was a little kid. My favourite example then, in raids, he would forbid me to roll on items I already had. After every single plan of his failed, he finally decided to go on the offensive. He blocked me out of the guild bank. Oof, what a meanie. It's worth noting that I didn't need the guild bank at all. My interests back in the day consisted of world PvP mostly, and being a professional WoW player, I hated all the consumables people insisted on using, as they were dishonourable. Of course, healing potions in world PvP, dishonourable. But hey, it was a move against me, ergo, I should respond, right? A decision came quickly then. Not only did I know a person with full access to literally everything in our guild bank, but I was also the king of the simp army. I bet you know what I did next, and that's right. I became very, very flirty with Lathina. We took our conversations to ICQ. I'm not sure if this messenger was any popular outside Russia, but hey, it's a chat messenger. The results were outstanding. Sure, I still couldn't roll on my second or maybe third pair of tier 6 trousers, but now I would pick our guild bank apart, bit by bit, without any need for the precious items that I was taking. And Lathina would pick up the tab, no questions asked. Yeah, I feel old with ICQ. It was at that time that I started to suspect Lathina of being a guy. No, really? Shocker. I'm pretty sure the wise chat already called it, but the truth is, I still don't know to this day whether Lathina was a guy or not. Anyway, the cracks in Lathina's image started to show. As I've already mentioned, we were talking to each other in Russian. And in Russian language, verbs have gender. Sometimes, rarely even, Lathina would use the male form of a verb and then correct herself shortly after with a smile, smiley face. Oh, and yeah, we didn't use voice comms back then. I don't know, it just wasn't a thing that we used on private servers. Without being totally sure, it was enough to plant doubt in my mind. And shortly after, I was pretty disenchanted with this whole scheme. Right there, I could walk away. Call it good. I could end everything without diving deeper into degeneracy. But at that very moment, ladies and gentlemen, I learned that Satan does exist. And temptation is very, very real. My guild master, poor young Angus, whispered me that day. Here's the rough recollection of that conversation. Dude, I know that you chat with my e-girlfriend all the time. I don't know how else to put this, but you know that we're e-dating, and you're still messing around. Bro, she can hang out with whoever she wants. I'm not ghosting her if that's what you're asking me to do, mate. She whispered me, bruv. I know. I can't make her stop chasing you. But maybe I could make it worth your while to just leave my girlfriend alone. What a loser. What a loser. And by God, he could. What a loser. Can I pay you to stop talking to my girlfriend? Oh, sweet Jesus. Can I pay you just to not talk to her? I knew exactly what I wanted. I wanted my access to guild bank restored, even partially. But this time I would also receive daily tribute in gold, even if the guild bank is empty. I already knew, knowing about my dark, deprived soul, you could probably guess if I actually ghosted the e-girl or not. And I did not. All I did was told her about my deal with her boyfriend, asking her to stop addressing me publicly in-game. But of course, we could talk outside of game, no problem. We continued talking online though, and she would still pick up the items for me from the guild bank that I couldn't myself. Sometimes I would sell them on the auction house. Sometimes I would just delete them. That wasn't the point. I was the king of the douche hill, I fully admit. And I loved it at the time. I felt like I had so much power. Why did I do this? Well, at the time, I thought it was funny. It didn't hurt anybody, although I did laugh at others' expense. I fully accept the fact that I'm a dirty arsehole, and now I live my days in WoW trying to redeem myself by being a nice person to everyone. Now, drama aside, I don't actually feel the need to atone for my sins. That said, each time I find myself being angry with someone and wanting to lash out, I remember that young Tauren warrior and his misguided quest for love. I remember him and erase my angry message to yet another tank who left after someone accidentally needed his greens instead of greeting them. And I carry on. And I want to tell you all, don't feel too bad for that kid. He ended up doing the right thing. Soon after I began all my schemes, he kicked the girl from the guild right before doing the same to me. He found out that I had not stopped talking to her. It was a bitter lesson for him at the time, and I heard that he cried about losing his first girlfriend. Oh. Well, hell. Oh, that's kind of sad, man. It's like his first lost love as a guy in World of Warcraft. I wish I could learn something that valuable about people that early in life. And I'm sure it made him stronger in his older days. Take care, my friends. Be nice to each other out there. Try not to get yourself in trouble. Oh, the author is the worst. He was a young boy in love, man. Oh. That's really sad. You made me angry a little bit. You are guilty. You're very guilty. He was just a young boy with urges. That's all. Yeah, author is 100% the worst. I guarantee. I confirm. I confirm. I called it. No way. I called it. That poor lad. Okay, the long con. Let's go here. Let's go over to the long con. Let's see what we've got for the long con. I feel so bad for that guy. If you want, hey, Angus, if you're listening, why don't you head down to some different servers in WoW, right? Hear me out. Just pop over to the wetlands real quick, like. About 9 o'clock. Just hang about in some caves about 9 o'clock. Who knows? You might see, you might find some action. You know what I mean? You might find something fun going on over there. You might be. All right. Okay. We need one name. Henry. Okay. Hello, Mr. Preacher. That jewelry of yours. Oh, God. Do we need to drop the gavel again? So many people. Oh, he is. Yes. Today, I bring you a tale full of intrigue, mystery, and perhaps most importantly, something so unbelievable that I have to begin with the cliche, I never thought I would be writing you a story. So here I am, asking for your judgment. Should I have seen this coming? Or is this truly the most batshit crazy thing anyone has ever done? Alright, it's not the second thing. We just had people RPing being eaten by a bear and licking gnomes. So, it's not number 2. This tale revolves around a group of my friends and a guy named Henry. For some background, me and my friends have been playing games together for as long as I can remember. Everything from Counter-Strike and Minecraft to the game in question, of course, World of Warcraft. As you may imagine, this meant that we would touch base with quite a few different and unique communities over the years, often recruiting new members to our little group of very serious gamers. Very serious. In order for you to truly grasp the insanity of this tale, I must tell you a brief adventure in the wonderful game of Rust. Okay, so many people here know Rust. During World of Warcraft's off periods, in this case they were the latter days of 8.3.5, we'd often jump into a game for a wipe or two, as it really is all or nothing in that type of game. As we are not fans of getting our stuff blasted while we were asleep, we played on a roleplay server which required formal declarations of war and had a grace period during which we could prepare. I know this sounds like a bit too much, but trust me, it was a blast and we had a great time. We established our base and everything was looking great, but then an idea came to us. We had never really RP'd as the bad guys. And so, the Harvesters were created. The name came from the fact that you can get human skulls in Rust, so we wanted to make a collection of them. Jesus, it's kind of grim. We may have gotten a little carried away with our backstories, as we found ourselves all donning the frankly terrifying bone armor I have attached a few images of how we looked and blurting out crazy phrases at the end times when conducting our raids. This looks like not good transmog. Right? Am I wrong? This looks like Silent Hill Zombies meets Conan. You're very mismatched as a unit. Yeah. There's not a theme, really. It's kind of, it's a little, you dig it? It's a little all over the place. This looks like, I don't know, like Dead or Alive or something like that. I don't know. I don't feel those mogs, man. I'm not going to lie. I don't feel the mogs. They don't do it for me. Crazy people as a team? I suppose. They got a bit of a zombie vibe to it. Around midway through this wipe, though, we decided that it's time to really establish ourselves as dangerous. I want people to know we're dangerous. At this point, there were 2 major cities built and around 10 smaller factions which all met at a round-table conference to talk about a united military to fight off other bandits on the server. Thing is, we had an inside man who would relay most of what they talked about back to us, and thus the harvesters were on the move. We knew when the next round table would take place, and we knew we had to deliver a message to let people know we're dangerous. We organised a rocket barrage on the building that would be followed up with a full-on assault. Since they were checking everyone before entering the meeting, we know that most people were unarmed. This sounds like a shitload of fun, by the way. So we knew that they would not put up much of a fight. And just like we predicted, the whole building was crippled and the message was delivered. The harvesters are here. What worked out even better was that our inside man managed to live through the whole thing, so we even got the dramatic moment of him talking to one of the central city higher-ups and telling them our message, which was, the harvesters are here. Did I get the delivery right? I hope I delivered it right. I hope I had that little Liam Neeson effect to that one. After that day, everyone on this server feared us. And we started formal declarations of war against all of the other major groups. The idea wasn't to win. Frankly, there was no way we could win. We just wanted to deliver a great story. A few days of fighting later, it was time to take on a pretty major faction on the server. They knew we were coming, so they prepared. But with how much some of us had been no-lifing this wipe, we just outmatched them through sheer resources. We breached their compound, and this is where the story truly begins. This server had a pretty light RP policy, but while events such as these were going on, you couldn't just straight up break character, talking in and out of character. But as we were harvesting, one of their members, Henry, did. Started swearing at us, asking where the hell we got that many rockets, and that we were probably being helped by a GM, or we were using hacks. We played it off in character and said that we're just here to harvest. We took their stuff, and it was the end of them. A seemingly regular raid. An hour or so later, though, Henry is running around near our base, talking out of character. Only this time he was calm. Said he was enjoying the story we were creating. Could he be a harvester? And this is where things went wrong. If you recall earlier, I mentioned that this sort of thing happens often. You play an intensive game, and those bonds do sometimes form. Some of my closest friends nowadays all come from our adventures in these games. Thing is, none of those friendships were started by the guy cursing at us and calling us cheaters. Don't get me wrong, everyone gets salty in video games, but this guy was genuinely angry when we raided him. Me being the nice and perhaps somewhat naive guy that I am, I decided that we should give him a try. After all, what could go wrong? We had permissions, joined our Discord, joined our group, and things already set up so some rando wouldn't delete everything we had. We'd had some protections in place. He really fit into our group, did Henry. We continued to play together, but ultimately the harvesters were eventually vanquished by the united forces of the server. And as the wipe was coming to a close, we decided we wanted to play some more World of Warcraft. As it turns out, Henry also played World of Warcraft, a veteran nonetheless. But hadn't played a lot of 8.3 or 8.3.5. We're a decent heroic, few bosses of Mythic Guild who are pretty casual. But after he heard that we killed Nazoth, he asked if we could help him get Curve, so he could get his shiny mount. We had been playing for a few weeks now, and since he asked if he could join for Shadowlands as well, of course, you're a guildie, a friend. Come along. He was a little rusty, but definitely you could see the markings of a decent player. We got him the mount without too much hassle, and that was that. Over the next month or so, he'd play with us regularly or just shoot the shit. Honestly, Henry had become one of our core members. A side interest of ours is gold. Making gold. So you can imagine what our guild bank looked like. Lots and lots of expensive mats, mounts, rare pets, and other things to be flipped. Henry said that he tried to get into gold making as well, and asked if he could chip in with materials, and then we could teach him how to make his own gold. Once again, of course, as a member of the team, we will help you. We will do what we can. We had been doing this for years with many players. We had rare recipes which could sell for a lot, etc. Suddenly, we watched as Henry flooded our guild bank with materials. It was insane just how much he had. We have, of course, had it set up that he couldn't take anything out, he could just put in, and Henry said he gets that. We didn't want some random stealing all our stuff, and that he trusted us with his materials. A few more weeks pass and we're making some gold. Obviously not as much as we'd like since it was an off period in the game, but enough. After the delay of Shadowlands, there really wasn't much to do, so it's pretty much the only thing we and Henry focused on. During this time, he got pretty good at flipping himself and would often come to us with quite substantial sums of gold. All of us got long boys. It was a lot of fun. And then Shadowlands. As he promised, Henry joined us for the launch. We got to level cap quickly, and the new expansion had truly begun. But if you're into gold making, that only really means one thing. Players returning and an entirely new market opening up. It was time to get a lot of that newbie gold. As I was quite busy with IRL stuff at the time, I couldn't focus as much as I would like on some of the things of making money. Henry, on the other hand, was always online. I mean, a lot. I was taking full advantage of the high demand and low supply. One of my friends was impressed with his abilities and brought up the question, is it time? Do we give Henry full access to the guild bank? He had been playing with us for quite a long time now. He'd obviously proved himself as trustworthy. But you know what they say, first impressions are everything. And I couldn't help but think about that very first time we met Henry, where he was incredibly angry, only to 180 and become some nice hero dude just 20 minutes later. Something about the whole thing just didn't sit well with me. The rest of my group of friends, however, agreed that with the amount of stuff he's done, he's contributed a hell of a lot. He'd more than proved himself that he's pretty much part of our group already. He's a full-on clan member now. And so, the decision was made. Henry was granted full access to the guild bank. I watched what was going on like a hawk for the next couple of days. I was obviously doing what most of you are probably doing and anticipating the absolute worst. Nothing happened. More gold and mats were flowing into the guild bank. It was looking like the opening of Castle Nathria would bring an insane amount of gold. I convinced myself that I was just being paranoid and that my introverted nature made me reluctant to trust somebody who is blatantly trustworthy. A few days or so pass. It was almost a picturesque December morning. I got out of the shower and prepared my morning cup of coffee while enjoying the peacefully falling snow. I booted up WoW and empty. Almost the entire guild bank was gone, with the only sign of what happened being a message in the mail. I'm just here to harvest. Got him. That's really good that he sent the letter. Sending the letter is crisp, by the way. That is a crisp maneuver. I love that. That is so crispy. That is bacon crispy. Boom. I am sad to say that this is where the story ends. There was no dramatic Discord now message, no chase, no triumph, just a fucking empty guild bank. Me sat in my chair with my morning coffee in disbelief. The peaceful morning ruined and a group of disappointed friends. Why do you use a guild bank? What? Haven't we all learned? At least in WoW. You don't use the guild bank. What the fuck? The guild bank is just for repairs, man. We tried searching around for Henry, but his heist seems to have been thought out well. We could not find a single trace of Henry anywhere. The character that was in the guild didn't exist anymore. Though a name change from the gold he stole would have been a large expense, and his Discord wouldn't have been a large expense. And his Discord also seems to have vanished. We went over our TSM ledgers and it looked like he got away with around 65 to 80 million in raw gold and various items. He joined us, bought into our trust over multiple months, only to cash out a few days before the raid. I've seen a lot of things in my day, but never something on this level of such a long play. I don't know what his plan was when he joined up with us in Rust, since there was no way he would have even known about our World of Warcraft guild, let alone our bank contents. Maybe he would have just raided our Rust base and called it a day, but then an opportunity presented itself to deal even more damage, as he was a WoW player himself. I can't be sure. We've tried to wrap our heads around this ever since, but have yet to understand at which point his plan was set into motion. Either way, he got away with at least 60 million gold that he could make just by dumping everything on the auction house. More if he played it smart, which he obviously is capable of after this maneuver. So, judge, preach, and the jury. Should I have trusted my gut, or is this something too crazy to ever anticipate? I can't help but feel responsible for the whole thing, as it had been me who ultimately did give him the permissions. I'll respect your judgment, however harsh it may be. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. I mean, months, though? The real guilt here is using the guild bank. That's what you're guilty of. There's no need to ever use the guild bank. There really isn't. There's no need. In every guild I've been in since, you have, like, a couple of characters on, like, the guild master, if you trust them. Like, Alex and Loz took care of all our guild goal. And we were fine with that. We were fine with that. That was it. Trust your gut. I think with gamers, you have to, there's some leeway there, because gamers naturally do respond in some of the most obscene ways, even if they are the nicest people. They do. I've seen close friends react in a very, very weird, bizarre, and aggressive way. On occasion, it has happened. And I know they're not bad dudes. You know, for the most part. I know they're not bad dudes, but still, it's one of them. It's one of those. I want this freedom doesn't exist story. I'm going to declare you not guilty. You are guilty of using the guild bank and having 80 million gold worth of fucking stuff in your guild bank. That's crazy. That's crazy. There is no justification for that at all. We don't need that whatsoever. Almost have to give him permission. Yeah, I mean, the dedication was there. He did deserve to be promoted. He did. He did. He proved himself. I've got less, about 10 minutes. $10,000 in tokens. Yeah, why would you have that just sat? Even though, I mean, just, you should have that gold. Right? Really? You should have that gold. I don't know. Guild banks are such a risk. Because even good people, if you're going to put if you're going to put $10,000 in front of really good people, a lot of people are going to take that. I think that's the truth. If you put a good person, but leave $10,000 lying around in front of them, knowing that they can leave scot-free, I think a lot of people are going to take that deal, if I'm being honest with you. You're only not taking that deal if it's not a lot to you. You know what I mean? If I didn't take it, someone else will. Yeah, I mean, they did some... It's like YouTube channels that do it, right? They leave a wallet with like a few dollars lying on a floor and see how long it lasts. It's always something like a minute and a half that people take it. And it's like 1 in 30... 1 in 30 people actually try and return it. Like, it's ludicrously low. Even if it's bog all. All right. Yeah, let's have a little story here. Okay. Name is Doable. Welcome, Doable. Even good people got to eat. Most good people can eat anyway. I think so. Freedom doesn't exist. All right, I'm kind of curious. Freedom doesn't exist. Hello, Preacher, and that wonderful, awesome chat of yours. Hello, sir. I love your show and your channel. I've been listening to your stories since Legion. And I always wanted to submit my own tale, but my gaming experience in World of Warcraft hasn't been that eventful. Until I was alone in my guild's Discord with someone who is usually quiet. Oh no, nightmare. Yeah, just leave. His name was Doable. Oh god. You gotta be careful with the quiet ones, man. Be careful. Now, Doable, during normal guild stuff, is cool enough. He shows up for M+, which not a lot of guildies do. He's always there for our raids. He listens to calls from the raid leader. You could almost forgive him for being a bot, etc., etc. Well, Doable wants to be a storyteller for work. And yes, it's relevant. And for whatever reason, that late night, sat alone with me in that Discord channel, he decided that I would be the perfect person to open up to. And, and he wanted to talk about politics, religion, and everything people don't want to talk to strangers about. All right, good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, when it rains, it pours. Oh, hello. We don't know each other. Would you like to talk about politics and religion? Oh yeah, please. Absolutely. I tried to be as nice as I could, but I'd just let Doable talk himself out. Surely he will run out of breath at some point, without giving him much as to my beliefs, because I could tell he wanted to argue about something. Maybe he wanted to practice debate, but it was very clear that Doable was looking for some sort of argument. Then Doable asked if I think freedom exists. Now, as you might be able to guess, I'm from the US of A. And said, hell yeah! Hell yeah, I do. And I made some dumb meme jokes about USA, America, our stance on freedom. I was genuinely just trying to lighten the mood. That's all. Then he said something that to this day is a joke in my guild and something my GM still laughs at and will occasionally reference. After I made my dumb American memes, Doable got all serious on me. And in a deep, dark voice, he said, no, I mean true freedom. I didn't know what he was talking about. What does true freedom mean? Where is this going? So I thought the most appropriate response would be, and this is where you're guilty, by the way. What is true freedom? Don't ask this guy that. He's about to get existential on your ass. It's almost like you could hear him sucking in all the air in his room. He began to explain to me that we are still bound, of course, by the laws of physics. We are not free, so to speak, to say fly, shoot fire out of our eyes, pass through matter as one might want to do, and generally be a god, which would be the ultimate freedom. We are still bound by the constraints of the universe, so to speak, and 1 + 1 = 2. Such a rudimentary notion. So is freedom real? I responded with, I think being able to fly would be pretty cool. Are you stoned? You sound stoned. I don't know, man, but being able to fly sounds pretty cool. You know what I mean? That'd be pretty cool. I'd just fucking fly around the room and shit, you know what I mean? I'd like fly to the shop and get myself some Rizzlers and then fly back. It'd be pretty sweet and get some backy and... I don't know where I'd fly to, though. I'd probably just stay in my room. You know, fly to Wendy's maybe, get myself a big drink. That'd be pretty good. I also said, I don't think I'm not free because I can't be Superman. He did not like this answer. He seemed to think I was trying to belittle his notions. He explained to me that as a storyteller, a weaver of words and a lyrical swordsmith, it's important that my characters are able to have freedom in a way that we cannot. I was getting fed up with this. So I said the one get out of jail free card that I have been told is supposed to universally work. Let's just agree to disagree. on what freedom is. No. I'm desperately trying to remember exactly what his response was, but I'll give you the gist. No, no. Hear the words coming from my mouth. You will see what I see. You will see things the way I see them. I can see you are a smart guy. I know you will see what I am saying is the truth. He told me everybody who is smart enough and that he's talked to has ultimately seen it his way and agreed with him. So if you don't agree with him, you're stupid. But if you do agree, then you're smart. Okay? And you don't want to be stupid, do you? Do you really want to be stupid? I don't think so. I don't think you do. Right? Trust me. Smart people agree. Stupid people don't. So do you agree? Huh? I said nah. I can't be bothered. Nah, I'm alright. Alright, thanks. Nah. I don't really care. I said, I'm not looking for judgment here. I know I was wrong for not logging off at this point and just leaving Discord, which you guys might have done. But I was still gaming, and I wanted to do my dailies, so I kind of humoured him while I got finished. He talked like this for hours. He kept saying, once again, if I'm smart, I will agree with him. And thinking back, I'm thinking people just agree with him so he shuts up. Yes, of course. That is the most common trap. The most common trap in the world that genuinely only stupid people fall for. Right? The most common argumental trap in the world. If you're stupid, you disagree with me. If you're smart, you do. It's like the most obvious thing ever. Eventually, I cut him off and just said, dude, I'm tired. We're not going anywhere with this. Shh. Good night. I've had enough. Following this conversation, he quit the guild. I've never heard from him since. I almost feel like he was a ghost that visited me in the night. Really? Oh, shit. Was he even real? Did I have that conversation? What? What happened there? My guildmaster and raid leader both gave me shit about it and say crap like, oh, you're a smart guy and you just hear me out. You'll see things my way. Smart people will boost my ult through Torghast or a 15 key. Stupid people wouldn't. True. But since he left the guild, we have gone on to get ahead of the curve, which I know isn't a huge deal, but this is my first tier ever raiding WoW, so I'm happy with it. Congratulations. We got Keystone Master, essentially took a break until 9.1. Doesn't this mean that I am smart? Or am I stupid? Is freedom real? Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah, it is. Pretty good. That's alright. Go do what you want. You know, just don't, like, kill anybody or anything. You'll be alright. Playing well, we're all done. I hope you enjoyed my little story, and I will let you know if he ever comes back to us. Freedom isn't real. Freedom doesn't exist. I think you're very smart. I think you're very smart. But that does bring us to the end of drama today. From ERP to life's darkest lessons. Is freedom real? And our little break from the intensity of the world first race is done with for today. Freedom isn't free. True that. True that. I'm going to love you and leave you guys. And I hope you have a tremendous weekend. Can't wait to see what's going on out there in the big raiding world. I think that was pretty wholesome, Gilgamesh. I think that was a pretty wholesome story. That was pretty good. I'm going to send you over to our boy, Mr. Max. Give him a hell's yeah. He's probably watching. Oh, they're currently pulling Fate Scribe. So that'd be pretty good. Best wishes to all of you. And I will see you very, very soon. I hope I got that name. Maximum. Yeah, there we go. Invalid. Oh. I can't type. Limit _ maximum. Boom. Have a great weekend, my dudes. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I will see you as soon as I can. Probably Monday. All right? So be awesome. I'll see you in a bit.